What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the CaliKidOfficial Podcast. I believe this is episode 44. So let's get right into it. So this past week, we were supposed to get the Ashanti versus Keyshia Cole Verzuz, but unfortunately, Ashanti contracted the COVID-19, so it got postponed to January 9th. However, today we're going to be getting Too Short versus E40. So, you know, two Bay Area legends with very extensive catalogs. They both have dropped collaborative albums with one another. And from what I've been reading, a lot of money has been put into this versus in terms of the whole setup and whatnot. So this should be a very interesting affair. It's slated to take place at 5 o'clock today. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that should be an interesting battle. I don't know who is going to win that, but that's going to be interesting. They also put together another project with one another. So this kind of is going to tie into that. It's going to help market that. So I think that's why they did that. And then that's going to basically close out the year for the verses. And then, of course, starting next year, we're going to get the Ashanti versus Keyshia Cole. And I've been seeing a lot of Ashanti and Keyshia, should I say a lot of Ashanti slander. Me personally, I think Ashanti is going to get Keyshia Cole. I think she has more, a more well-rounded discography. Because she, you know, of course, she has her own catalog. And then she got the records that she wrote. And then she got the records with Ja Rule, but I think that she's gonna give Keyshia Cole a run for her money, and I think Ashanti's gonna end up winning that battle. But yeah, so moving on for that into sports. So Liangelo Ball was waived by the Detroit Pistons. I think it's kind of messed up because it kind of seems like they were clout chasing, because you sign a guy to a 1-year deal, you don't give him any playing time in the preseason, and then you release him. So I think that was some type of clout chasing deal. And then, of course, you know, his father had something to say, basically saying the franchise is raggedy. You know, that's his favorite word. He said, "The people in Detroit are great. I love the fans. But the franchise over there is raggedy as hell. They don't know a good player. I was giving them a lottery pick for free." I mean, Jello, he can shoot. There's been speculation that it's possible he's dealing with an ankle injury, because that's what they listed on the injury report or whatever. That's why he didn't play. But it's like, at least give him an opportunity to show what he can do in a live action game. Like, why sign the person and then release him? You know, if you didn't think he was good enough to be on the roster, why would you sign him? You could have just signed him to your G League team or whatever, instead of calling him up to the roster and then releasing him and then not even giving him any playing time. So we'll just have to see, you know, what happens with that. I think it was a clout chasing move, if you ask me. But moving on from that, the speculation as to where Giannis is going to sign has been put to a rest. He re-signed with the Bucks on a 5-year extension worth $228.2 million, which comes out to $45.64 million per year. He had 1 year left on his deal for $26.8 million. So he basically put his foot down and basically said he's going to be the cornerstone of that franchise for the foreseeable future. And it's going to be up to them to get the necessary pieces to put around him in order for them to have the season that they want, which is, you know, to ultimately make it to the finals and win the title. But he's staying put in Milwaukee. So, you know, hats off to him. And the Lakers are looking like a juggernaut. They've had, I believe, 4 preseason games, and they've won all 4. The first 2 were against the Clippers. And in the first 2 games against the Clippers, AD and Bron didn't play, and they still came away with victories. The first game, the Lakers won 87-81, and then game 2, they blew them out to a tune of 131-106, and it's looking like they found the diamond in the rough with Taylor Horton Tucker He's only 20 years old, and he showed some promise, you know, within what he showed us on the court. In game 1, he had 19 points, 4 assists, and 9 rebounds on 37 minutes. And then the second game, he had 33 points, 4 assists, and 10 rebounds on 41 minutes. So that second unit is going to wear teams down. You know, that team is going to be a problem. They got a variety of different ways they can attack you. And so when LeBron and or AD go to the bench, they're going to have players that can come in and still produce offensively. So it's going to put a strain on opposing teams to try to keep up with the output. They're going to end up having to play players longer than they probably want to, and they're going to wear teams down. But they did look rusty against the Suns. In both instances, they were down a lot, and then they came back. I saw some video where they try to make it seem like LeBron shoved the player, but when you look at it, the guy flopped, and it looks worse than it actually is. They try to make it seem like he pushed him while he was in the air. The dude flopped, and that's one of the things I don't like about basketball. You have these players that be flopping just to draw a call, and it makes the game disgusting if you ask me. But, you know, it was a flop. He didn't push that dude. But the way that he fell makes it seem like something happened. But in actuality, it didn't. So that's that. However, moving on for that, a bit of Jake Paul news. So he's been doing his damnness to goad Conor McGregor into facing him in a boxing match, you know. Talking trash about him, his fiance, Dana White, and basically going around doing a whole bunch of different shenanigans. So let's get into the actual article. So it says, Jake Paul unloads on Conor McGregor in profane video, claims $50 million offer to fight. So it says, the tirade immediately turned personal, with Paul insulting McGregor's fiancée Devlin and invoking McGregor's past run-ins with the law. It says, what the F is up with you, Irish C-word, Paul said, draped in an Irish flag as he smoked a cigar. I'm pretty sure there's a video. Okay, here's a video right here.
What the fuck is up, you Irish cunt? Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now, or maybe you're jacking off because you're sick of fucking your wife. I mean, she's a 4, Conor. You
oh, shit.
Better, but happy Monday. My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. $50 million cash, proof of funds. The biggest fight offer you've ever been offered, but you're scared to fight me, Conor. You're ducking me because you don't want to lose to a fucking YouTuber. You're 0-1 as a boxer. I'm 2-0 as a boxer. I just came off the 8th biggest.
I mean, it would be interesting because they both have
Justin Prober, who has less followers on Instagram
a
than
small
my dog. That's a fact.
Sample
and
size
White,
in actual
you're
boxing.
You're a fucking pussy too, you ugly fucking bald bitch. You said there's 0% chance of this fight happening, but there's 0% chance of you getting some fucking pussy. Conor, you're scared. Dana, you're scared. Sign the fucking contract, you idiots. Jesus fucking Christ. Irish bitch.
Yeah, this is the classic trying to goad somebody into fighting. So this is the contract right here. It says the battle will be contested over 8 3-minute rounds to a decision at a maximum weight of 185 pounds. The boxer shall use 10-ounce gloves approved by the local boxing commission supervising the bout. The bout will take place 6 months from the parties entering into a formal agreement. So basically, 6-month camp, pretty much. In order to maximize the amount of pay-per-view revenues and other revenues, the event will consist of a reasonable number of world-class undercard bouts. The McGregor-Paul bout and some of the undercard bouts will be distributed live on pay-per-view in the U.S. and further distributed around the world. Jake Paul has acquired backing for this event, who was willing to guarantee a purse of $50 million for Conor McGregor to participate in the event. Jake Paul will immediately provide proof of funds in cash in a bank account immediately upon execution of this letter of intent. The specific terms and conditions will be more specifically set forth in a formal agreement between the fighters to be negotiated after the execution of this letter. So basically, if this fight was to happen, the only thing they would probably negotiate is the pay-per-view split. If fans are allowed into the event, which I think they might be, because fights have been allowing fans into their the gate split, the split from the sponsors. Basically, all that will be hashed out if they decide to do this, pretty much. Oh, and I guess this is him talking to Tyson. But yeah, this is pretty interesting. And since then, Dana White has responded saying that maybe Amanda Nunez could do it. She said that she's interested. Jake Paul did like a drive-by on Dillon Danis, which is one of McGregor's buddies, throwing water balloons at him, you know, trying to goad McGregor into getting into the ring with him, you know. Basically the same thing that pretty much set off McGregor against Khabib, when Khabib attacked McGregor's friend, what's dude's name? I can't think of his name, but you know who I'm talking to, that set off that whole event. So that's basically what he's trying to do right here.
Hey, look, it's Conor McGregor's fish right there. Pussy, pussy, piece of shit, pussy, dip, 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 pussy, fuck you, bitch.
They crazy. And people is like, why didn't he get out the car? Because, idiot, you fighting for millions of dollars. All this is promotion. Whether it's not the right way to promote or not, all this is promotion for the bout. Which, I don't know, Dana White gonna have to sign off on it, but I don't think he's gonna allow Conor McGregor to do that. Even though McGregor did say that he's retired, but he's supposed to be fighting Poirier. So if this was to happen, it would have to be after that Poirier fight. But, you know, also since this has happened, Nate Diaz then got involved, and him and Nate Diaz and had a back and forth. So, you know, it is what it is. You'll see right here it says, I'm thinking of letting Amanda Nunez knock his ass out. We'll see though, because as we saw before, that the UFC striking doesn't really translate to boxing, as we've seen with McGregor. You know, he was known for knocking people out in the UFC, but that power didn't translate into boxing. But we'll just have to see what happens with that. But this entire situation is funny, if you ask me. It's like, bro. It's like, bro, what the hell? Yeah, I think this is the other one where him and Nate was talking shit to each other. Yeah, Nate said, out of pocket, you need your ass beat for free, you spoiled fuck, you can't really fight, dumb shit, you're going to end up with your ass whipped for real, somewhere talking like that. Yeah, bringing people's family into situations is going to end up causing some other shit to happen. So I wouldn't go that far as to insult people's family. And so he says, you saw what happened to the other Nate. Hey, Nate already beat your boy up. Come get your mans, then you can get the smoke too. So I guess this is him sparring one of Nate's buddies in his mansion. He got the ring in the living room. I really beat your boy up. I mean, the dude is like super small compared to Jake as well too. The dude that he was fighting. But yeah, we'll just have to see. You know, his brother Logan is going to face Mayweather next year in February. That's going to be a complete slaughter. He's basically going to toy with Logan like he did with Conor. People think Conor actually had a chance in that fight when Floyd was toying with him. Floyd has never walked somebody down the entire fight. He usually, you know, sticks him with a jab, duck out the way. He had his guard up the whole fight, just walking him down, and then just got him out of there at the end, pretty much. But moving on for that into a bit of news. So Pornhub, they've been catching a bit of flack. Apparently, people were uploading content that they shouldn't have been uploading, and it caused a whole bunch of different backlash. Visa and MasterCard threatened to basically pull their services from the site if they didn't do anything about it, because people are uploading revenge porn and people being raped and all types of crazy ass shit. So in an effort to combat that, they basically eliminated all of the unverified content on Pornhub. So all those videos you had saved, if it wasn't from verified users, that shit is gone. And they basically updated their site as such. And a lot of people felt some type of way about it. But, you know, when you have backing by certain companies, you pretty much have to do what they say, or otherwise risk your business going under or whatever. So right here, this is basically an outline of everything that they did. This is from one of their this is basically on their website, basically showing you everything that they've done to correct that. So it says at Pornhub, nothing is more important than the safety of our community, our core values, blah blah blah. This is why we have always been committed to eliminate illegal content, including non-consensual material, child sexual abuse material. Every online platform has a moral responsibility to join this fight, and it requires collective action and constant vigilance. Over the years, we have put in place robust measures to protect our platform from non-consensual content. We are constantly improving our trust and safety policy to better flag, remove, review, and report illegal material. While leading nonprofit and advocacy groups recognize that our efforts have been effective, we know there is more to do. In April 2020, we retained outside experts to review our compliance program and make recommendations. Today, we are taking major steps to protect our community. Going forward, we will only allow properly identified users to upload content. We have banned downloads. We have made some key. That's going to hurt them. That's basically, I know what they're trying to do with this, but this is going to drive a lot of people to other sites, because, you know, Pornhub was basically kind of like pop culture in a sense, you know. A lot of different people, when they do be talking about porn and stuff, they usually bring up Pornhub. But this is going to drive people to other sites, because, you know, some people, they don't like the overly what do you call it? The overly scripted stuff. They like the amateur 240p shot on the phone stuff. So a lot of people are going to be going to other sites due to this, especially not being able to download. So it says, effective immediately, only content partners and people within the model program will be able to upload content to Pornhub. In the new year, we will implement a verification process so that any user can upload content upon successful completion of identification protocol. Effective immediately, we have removed the ability for users to download content from Pornhub. With the exception of paid downloads within a verified model program in tandem with our fingerprinting technology, this will mitigate the ability for content already removed from the platform to be able to return. Damn. Yeah, I've already seen a lot of people cracking jokes about, you know, these changes, but, you know, it is what it is. They have to do what they have to do for their platform, I guess. So it's not really too much that can be done. So this is some more of the explanation of what's going on. So let's talk about how they implemented the changes. We banned unverified uploaders, eliminated downloads. We've now also suspended all previously uploaded content that was not created by our content partners. So effectively, they've eliminated at least 60% of the content that was on their site, because a lot of the content was uploaded by people that wasn't verified. Basically, if you had a little check mark like they do with the social media sites too. Over at Facebook, self-reported 84 million instances of child. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, people shouldn't be uploading that type of shit anyway. That shit is crazy. It says it's clear that Pornhub is being targeted not because of our policies and how we compare to our peers, but because we are an adult content platform. You're being targeted, well, I can understand they feel as though that they're being targeted because they're an adult platform, but you also have to realize, you know, the appeal and the power that your platform has. So you're going to have to take responsibility of things that's going on your platform. Those other platforms are going to as well. There's going to be lawsuits and all types of stuff coming in the future for those platforms as well, you know. It's not just Pornhub that's made changes. Twitch, they've implemented some new changes, basically in regards to like bullying and stuff. You can't call people simps or virgins or incels or whatever. So it's not just y'all. It's a variety of different platforms that's going to be experimenting, or should I say experiencing changes like that as well. I mean, YouTube, they had to adopt that ckop thing as well, which now, you know, that affected people that were uploading content that was kind of like kid friendly. So, you know, different platforms had to undergo different changes. So, you know, it is what it is. But that's going to pretty much do it for this week's podcast. It wasn't really a whole bunch to talk about this week. But I was going to make one, but I was like, why not? You know, might as well. You know, I already put together some topics to talk about. So, you know, I thought, why not put the podcast out? But that's going to pretty much do it for this week's podcast. I appreciate you all for tuning in, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Anchor, Spotify, and everywhere else. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure you guys check out my new album, Magnum Opus. It's available on all platforms. Make sure you guys check that out. Let me know what you think about that. Also, before I go, I'll put out a poll of whether or not you guys wanted to do, if you guys wanted me to do a Q&A video. Basically, you can ask me anything and I will answer it. So far, I haven't gotten too many questions, so that's why the video hasn't come out yet. So if you guys still want that, you're going to have to ask me some questions. Don't be shy, you know. You can email me, you can send it to my DM, whatever. But if you guys want that, you're going to have to send in the questions, and once, you know, I have enough questions, then I'll do that video. But other than that, enjoy your guys' day. Take care of yourself, and until the next one, peace.
Ay papi.